What's up, you friggin' geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to do a bunch of examples showing you how to use the order of operations using PEMDAS. If you need an introduction into the order of operations in PEMDAS, I'll link that video in the card above. But if not, let's just jump into the examples. Okay, so real quick, I just want to mention what the order is again. So again, you're always going to start at the top of this list right here, right? Parentheses, then you do exponents, and then you do multiplication or division, right? So it's or division because these are interchangeable, and then addition or subtraction, right? So these are interchangeable also, the addition and subtraction. And then the acronym that you can use to remember this order is just PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, right? So P-E-M-D-A-S. All right, so let's see this bad boy in action. Okay, if I gave you 8 plus 6 minus 4, how are you supposed to solve this? All right, so you're going to use the order of operations, right? So you're going to start at the top. You're going to ask yourself, do I have parentheses? Do we? No. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Do we have exponents? Nope, doesn't look like that either. Do we have multiplication or division? Nope. All we have is this last one, addition or subtraction. So which one am I supposed to do first? Well, when you have two operations like this, right, the addition and the subtraction, and they're both on the same line, which is this last line, right, line number 4. Okay, well, in this case, you would just perform the first operation that pops up when you're reading it left to right. So in this problem, that'd be addition, right? So you would do the addition first here. So what is 8 plus 6? Well, that's 14. And then I'd bring down this minus 4 down here. So then I just have 14 minus 4, which is equal to 10. Okay, and that'd be your answer. Now, what if we switch this up a little bit? What if I had 8 minus 6 plus 4? Well, again, all we have here is addition or subtraction. So which one are you supposed to do first? The subtraction or the addition? Well, in this case, you would do the subtraction first. Why? Because it's the first one that pops up when you read this problem left to right. Okay, so here you would do 8 minus 6, which is 2. And then you'd bring down the rest of your problem, this plus 4. So then here you just have 2 plus 4, which is equal to 6. Okay, and there's your answer. Now, what if I gave you the problem 5 times 4 divided by 2? 2. Okay, so I'm just going to go through my steps again. Do I have parentheses here? No. Do I have exponents? No. Do I have multiplication or division? Yes, I have both multiplication and division. Okay, so which one in this case am I going to do first? Well, again, since they're on the same line, right, they're both on line number 3, you're just going to solve it left to right. So we would do the multiplication first. All right, so 5 times 4, that's equal to 20. And then we'll bring down this divided by 2 part. So all we're left with is 20 divided by 2, which is equal to 10. Okay, and again, let's switch this up one last time. So if we had 9 divided by 3 times 2. Which operation am I going to perform first, the division or the multiplication? Well, division and multiplication are on the same line, right? Line number 3. So whichever one pops up first when I'm reading it left to right, that's what I'm going to do. So that's division in this case. So 9 divided by 3, that's 3. And then we're going to bring down this times 2 part. So 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Now, what if I gave you this problem? 9 divided by 3 times 1. But I'm going to put this part, the 3 times 1, in parentheses. Okay, so again, I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to ask myself, all right, first step, do I have parentheses? Well, in this problem, yes, we do, right? So that's where we're going to start. We're going to simplify whatever is inside of the parentheses. So here we have 3 times 1. So what is 3 times 1? Well, that's simply equal to 3. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Okay, so now all I'm left with is 9 divided by 3, so I can solve that, right? That's just equal to 3. Okay, and just in case you're asking yourself, weren't we supposed to do the division before the multiplication since we're reading it left to right? Well, no, right? Because the first step is always, do you have parentheses? And in this case, we did have parentheses. So it doesn't matter what's inside the parentheses, that's where we're going to start. You ignore everything else outside the parentheses. Whatever is inside of these parentheses right here, that is where you start. All right, so now let's get into something a little more difficult. 10 squared divided by 50 plus 4, then we got 6 minus 2 in parentheses. Okay, so this problem looks pretty ugly, but remember, we always just follow our steps, right? So what's the first step? Do we have parentheses? Well, here we sure do. We have 6 minus 2. Okay, so ignore the rest of the problem. This is where we're going to start, 6 minus 2. Okay, so what is 6 minus 2? Well, that's just 4. And as you can see, this 4 right here, outside of the parentheses, there's no symbol here. Whenever you see a number just sitting outside of parentheses like this always means multiplication, okay? So this is 4 times, and then we have in parentheses 6 minus 2. So let's bring this 4 times down here now, okay? And let's bring the rest of our problem down as well. So we have 50 plus, and then we have this 10 squared divided by. Okay, so we dealt with the parentheses. Those are gone. Now let's move on to the next one, exponents. Okay, do we have any exponents in this problem? Well, yeah, we have this 10 squared, or 10 raised to the power of 2, right? So that's what we're going to solve next. So we have 10 squared, which is the same thing as 10 times 10, so that simplifies to 100. Okay, now let's bring down the rest of the problem. So we have this divided by 50 plus 4 times 4. Okay, do we have any more exponents? No. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So we're done with that. Now we have multiplication or division. Well, in this problem, we have both, right? So we have this division right here, and we also have this multiplication over here. All right, so which one do you do first? Well, again, when you have two operations that are on the same step, right? So we have multiplication and division on the same step. You always just do whichever one pops up first when you read it left to right. So in this case, we would do the division first. So let's do that. So we have 100 divided by 50. So that simplifies down to 2. Let's bring down the rest of our problem. We have 2 plus 4 times 4. Okay, now I'm down to addition and multiplication, right? So which one do I do first? Well, I would do the multiplication first, right? Because multiplication comes before addition, right? Addition and subtraction always come last. All right, so let's do the multiplication. We have 4 times 4, which is simply 16. And then we have this 2 plus right here, right? So we have 2 plus 16, which is equal to 18. All right, what about this problem right here? 16 divided by, and then in parentheses, we'll put 5 minus 1. We'll square that whole thing, plus 2 times 7. This looks ugly, right? But don't let that overwhelm you. We always start with our very first step, parentheses, right? All right, so do we have parentheses here? Yes. So ignore everything outside of the parentheses. All we're doing is simplifying what's inside of the parentheses first. So we have 5 minus 1, which is simply equal to 4. Okay, so we simplified what's inside of our parentheses. Now let's bring down the rest of the problem. Okay, and this exponent, this 2, was attached to the parentheses. But since we simplified what was inside of the parentheses, now it's going to be attached to that instead. And then the rest of our problem, we have this 16 divided by, and then on this side, we have this plus 2 times 7. Okay, so we're done with the parentheses. Next step, exponents. Do we have any exponents? Sure do, right? We have this 4 squared right here. Okay, so that's the next part we're going to do. So what is 4 squared? 4 times 4 is simply equal to 16. Okay, so let's bring down the rest of our problem again. So we have 16 divided by, and then we have this plus 2 times 7, right? Plus 2 times 7. Okay, so we're done with the exponents, right? So now let's move on to the multiplication and division. Again, we have division and multiplication. So which one pops up first when you read it left to right? Again, it's the division in this case. All right, so that's what we're going to do next. So we have 16 divided by 16. Well, that's simply equal to 1, right? And then we have this plus 2 times 7 still. Plus 2 times 7. And just like the last problem, we have multiplication and addition left. So we're going to do the multiplication first, right? Because multiplication comes before addition. So 2 times 7, that's equal to 14. We'll bring down this 1 plus. So we have 1 plus 14, which is simply equal to 15. Okay, now let's do 3 squared plus 2 cubed divided by 2. All right, so again, I'm just going to start at the top. Do we have parentheses? No. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Do we have exponents? Yes, we have 2 exponents. We have that one right there, and we have this one. So I'm going to simplify all my exponents. Okay, so let's start with this first one, 3 squared. 3 squared is equal to 9. Okay, and then let's do this one. 2 cubed is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. Okay, so I simplified all my exponents. I can bring everything else down now. So we got this plus sign here, and we got this divided by 2 right there. Okay, so I'm left with addition and division. Which one do I do first? Well, division comes before addition, right? So I'm going to do division now. 8 divided by 2, that's equal to 4. Now I'm going to bring down this 9 plus. So we're left with just 9 plus 4, which is equal to 13. All right, let's do 1 plus 4 plus 2 squared minus 1 divided by 7, but I want to throw some parentheses in here. So I want some parentheses here, and I also want some here. And for the fun of it, let's square the whole thing. Jeebus Christ, that looks ugly. But again, where do we start? We always start with step number 1. Do we have parentheses? Do we? Well, yeah, we have 2 sets of parentheses. So we have these parentheses right here, that short little one, and then we also have this bigger one from there to there. So which one do you do first? Well, you always start with the smaller set of parentheses. So in this case, it'd be these right here. All right, so ignore everything else. That is where we start. Okay, so let's simplify whatever is inside of these parentheses. Well, 2 squared, that's equal to 4, and then we have this minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Okay, so now we simplified what was inside of these parentheses. So now we can bring down the rest of the problem. Okay, so let's start here. So we have this 4 plus. Okay, we also have these outside parentheses. So we'll throw those on there. Then don't forget we have this exponent. So we'll put that up there. And then we have 1 plus on this side. And we have divided by 7 on this side. Okay, so it's a little more simplified, but it's still looking a little ugly. But don't let that scare you. Let's just keep using PEMDAS. Okay, so do we have any more parentheses left? Well, yeah, we have this set of parentheses right here, right? Okay, so that's where we're going to go next. So now we have just 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7. Okay, let's bring down the rest of our problem. So let's bring down this exponent. So that's attached to that 7. Then we have this 1 plus, and we have this divided by 7. Divided by 7. All right, it's looking a little better, right? Now, do we have any more parentheses left? No. All right, so let's move on to the next step. Exponents. Do we have any exponents here? Well, yeah, we have this 7 squared right here. So that's what we're going to solve next. Okay, so what's 7 squared? Well, that's simply equal to 49. Okay, 7 times 7 is equal to 49. All right, now that we did that, let's bring down the rest of our problem again. So we have 1 plus 49 divided by 7. Okay, did we take care of all the exponents? Yes. All right, let's move on to the next one. Multiplication or division. Do we have multiplication or division? Yes, we have division right here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. So we have 49 divided by 7, which is equal to 7. Okay, so I'll bring down the rest of my problem, this 1 plus. So now we have 1 plus 7, which is equal to 8. Boom. All right, guys, so that's it for the examples. I know it was a doozy. I'm very proud of you for getting through it. If you found the examples helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up. And if you still got questions, which I have a feeling you might, leave them in the comments section below and I will do my best to help you out. There's a pre-algebra playlist attached at the end of the video if you need to check out anything else. So definitely check it out, and I'll see you there.